Welcome back, people. Now let's straight away get to the point. We go to the geometry module. Right, today we'll be learning about this panel here, which is called transformation. Right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a box. Right, we'll just use the default values. Right, and in case if you want to zoom in and out, that you can do with your middle mouse button. Right, and if you were to rotate it, if you try and rotate it from your left mouse button, you won't be able to do it unless you click in here. Right, so that's the usefulness of this button. Okay, well, we have box. Let's zoom in with the middle mouse button. And then what we really want to do in this tutorial is we would want to translate this. Okay, now in order to translate this, we'll use this one, translate. Right, and then you have this option, translation. You have object, you can translate about the points, you can translate along the vector, but we'll just focus with the first one. So we'll select the object, which is your box. Right, so you get your box, and then when you say, for example, I want to translate it by 100. Okay, let's even increase it further. Let's do it 200, 250. Okay, now there's an option called create a copy. So in case if you want a copy to be created, then this option has to be ticked on like it is. Let's just create it. Okay, now you see the initial box that's vanished, but you are able to see the translated one. Well, the thing is, if you see in the tree, that box is there, right there, but it's not turned on, which is why you are not able to see it, but you have created a copy out of the first one. Okay, so if you click on this one, this arrow sign before the translation, you say box 1. Right, so this is in case if you have followed um, Python lectures, my Python series. So behind the scenes, Python is at work. You can say object-oriented programming. So this is sort of, we can just think, okay, this is the base class. So translation 1 has been derived from box 1. Okay, so when you turn on the box 1, then you'll be able to see both the boxes. Okay, so that's what it is. So you just need, for example, if you just need the new one, then you can rename it. You can rename it with your right mouse button, and then you can rename. I'll say just solid 1. Okay, so that's your translation in action. Now the next one is in case if you want to rotate it. Now you have your solid here, so that's gonna be your main object, and axis, for example, you want to take object as solid, and then when you take axis as OZ axis, and you want to rotate it by, I don't know, 45 degrees maybe, apply and close. Okay, now your object has been rotated, and if you want to see what has happened, zoom out a bit, and then you click on your original solid. Okay, so now let's click 3 of them together. So you had your first one, which was translated, and then you rotated your solid. But mind you, you need to check this thing out. Okay, that you have rotated your object. So you rotated, let me switch off the other one. So you have rotated this object about the OZ axis. Okay, so that's the axis, OZ axis, which you're rotating this object about. But how much is the degree of rotation? It is 45. So that's why it's turned like this. Okay, now if you go back to the rotation bit, then you'll be able to see you have your rotation axis, and if you there's another option called central point. So if you had central point, for example, in this box, if you were to specify the center point of the box, then it'll be rotated about that point. So that's the thing which you need to be taking care of. Okay, now the next one is let's delete this rotation bit for a while. Yeah, this is deleted. Now you have your solid, right? Next one is your modify location. So in case if you have your object which is solid, we would take solid, and then you'll have your end location. So that's the kind of stuff which you can do from your modify location. But we are not going into that one because we don't use it that often. But here we have mirror. Okay, so now the object is your solid, so you take in your object as solid, and then point mirror. Now you have to specify the point. For example, let's specify the origin point. Okay, and you have created a copy, right? In case if you don't want copy, then this object will be gone. It will be just this object, but we'll just create copy, right? And let's see in the preview. So it's giving you preview what's gonna happen. Okay, so about this point it's mirroring. Okay, in case if I was not choosing point, and if I was choosing the second option, which is your axis mirror, and I was using axis as OZ axis, oh sorry, object, you have to select object as solid and axis as your OZ axis, then that's what you get. Okay, so this is how mirroring is done. Okay, let's apply and close it, and now you have your solid and you have your axis image. Okay, so this is the axis along which this has been mirrored. So the distance from the axis to this object is same on the other side as well when you do the mirroring. Okay, and if you want to look at it again, then you have another option called plane mirror. So in case if you have a plane, for example, let's just do it. Okay, uh, so you have this body, right? Okay, let's close this for a moment. So you have your mirror, you have your solid, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna explode it. Okay, explode it into faces. Yeah, apply and close. So now you have your faces. So in case if you toggle your faces on and off, so you'll be able to see which faces are we talking about. Now what we need to do is we have faces, we have object. So now let's go back to the rotation or mirroring bit, and then we'll mirror it about a plane. Okay, so object is your solid one, and then your plane mirror is, let's say, this one. So that's your mirroring across the plane. So these are the three different options, and I think it's most likely that we'll be using these ones. So that's pretty much it about the translational methods which we have. I'll see you in the next one.